All right. So if you're going through a really tough breakup and it's been 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and it ended by cheating, I'm going to tell you something you need to know. For a long time, I just got off a client call and this was a situation. She got out of a 9-year relationship and it ended with cheating, right? Not her. And what happens is in a long-term relationship, you constantly define yourself from another person, right? You're looking at them, that's your person. You guys have been through so much stuff together. You've had so many experiences that you have only known yourself with that person for that number of years that you guys were together, maybe even longer. So what happens when that relationship breaks up? Sorry, as my dog drinks all of the water on planet Earth right now. What happens when that relationship breaks up is you lose sight of yourself. You don't know who you are. And this is scary, right? Whether you're in your 20s or your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if it was a 10-year relationship, 20, 30 year, you don't know who you are. And so you typically try to keep this mask on about who you were in the relationship to handle all of your hobbies, all of your friends, all of your relationships, all of your work stuff, your side projects, all the teams that you're a part of. And that is exhausting. You're exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, academically, financially, and you don't know what to do. So I'm going to tell you what to do if this is your situation right now. What you do is you drop everything. You give yourself 24 hours to let yourself absolutely be crushed by your emotions. And I call this the Jennifer Aniston method because this is what she did with Brad Pitt. She said she gave herself 24 hours to feel absolutely awful, eat all the ice cream, drink all the alcohol, smoke all the cigarettes that she wanted, do whatever she wanted for 24 hours, and also just probably lay on the floor and cry her face off. I don't know, right? Allegedly. But I remember at this point in my life when I got out of a 7-year relationship and I struggled for so long. It was like me trying to save a sinking ship or trying to steer that downward spiral of that plane away from the ground. And I couldn't. Eventually I crashed. And I remember that was the most cathartic day of my life where I just absolutely was whitewashed with my emotions. And after that, the next day, I remember I got up and I was just like, cool, that was the bottom. People don't change unless they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And after these long-term relationships, typically one of you will change. Hopefully both of you do. But especially in a cheating situation, a long-term cheating situation, and you don't find out about this, your job is not to reevaluate if that relationship can be put back together. You have to raise your vibration because right now you're pretty low, especially when you're mentally and physically exhausted and emotionally exhausted because this is all you can think about. But when your outside world is chaotic and it's busy and it's loud with all these friends and family and activities, you have to give yourself time and space away from social media, away from friends, away from family, to just let yourself feel as hard and for as long as you need. It's different for everybody. And when you do this, you hit the bottom of the well, and there you find your emotion. You find your emotion, you find yourself, you find your intuition, and your intuition speaks to you and it says, cool, now that you're here, let's agree that we are never going to feel this way again. And that starts a process of you getting yourself back. Doesn't matter after a relationship if you want an ex back or if you want to just move on. You have to get yourself back before you do either one of those things, i.e., deciding to date again or deciding to try and repair things or being open to doing this. You have to get yourself back. That is the only way. There is no other way. You have to get yourself back first. Too many people jump right into dating, jump right into another relationship or into distracting themselves, going out with friends, drinking, drugs, partying, expensive vacations, spending all the money, changing their entire look, changing their entire home, and then talking about the situation, which just keeps you marinating in all of that stress from what just happened. All right? Let yourself sink to the bottom. Get to know yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror or figure out who you are in all of that darkness and then say, cool, now that we hit the bottom, we're going to start walking our way out of here. And that process is you building a better version of yourself by yourself in silence, in the darkness, just for a little while. And it's a process that I love and I think is absolutely necessary if you want to grow into the person you need to be. All right? Hit me up if you guys have questions about this. Shoot me a DM. And if you want one-on-one coaching, send me a message or go to the website in the link. I'll see you guys soon.